Welcome, Joy Starters. This is Kim, Rachel's podcast producer. This is part 2 of Rachel's interview with JR Harvey, the founder and leader of King's Community, a thriving online brotherhood dedicated to helping men rebuild their confidence, leadership, and emotional resilience after life's toughest challenges. I think you are going to love part 2 of this interview. If you did not catch part 1, go back and check that out. But JR Harvey and Rachel have a lot of ideas that overlap, and you are going to love this.
Heard you say in another podcast, it takes all of us. I'm not in competition with anybody. It takes all of us.
Yeah, I think you nailed it with that question. What can women teach to men?
Yeah.
There's a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
The way I break things up that makes sense to my guys is, mind, heart, body, spirit.
Yes. Yes.
Men are really good at the mind and the body. Really good. Just dominate that place. Women, you guys are naturally gifted in the heart and the spirit.
Yeah.
Like you feel things on a different level that we can't not that we can't, we just don't get there.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
Most of us don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's what there is to teach. Like men are very good at the doing and women are very good at the being and can be very good at the well-being of the family, of the unit, of the nurturing and being in tuned with that. And there's also this aspect that we're starting to see and kind of hypothesize when it comes to the coming together of the man and the women. It's like you talk about manifesting.
Yeah.
You read Think and Grow Rich, you read The Secret, you read any of these books. What all of them will teach you and talk about is this intense, burning passion and desire.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's much easier to achieve, or maybe even you can, as women, can achieve that at a higher level because of your emotional connection and kind of default settings. Like you can feel the vision. We can see the vision and create the vision and go do the vision.
Yep.
But
Yep.
you guys feel it at a
You're
different,
so right.
you feel everything. So it's super cool. Of course, we do need each other and we can all teach each other different things. And that thing you mentioned about your husband, where it's like, I think good things about you all the time. I just don't say them. Wow. He's speaking for so many men. And my recommendation for any of the guys that find themselves in that spot,
Yeah.
because it can be very hard to just say things.
Yeah.
Why is it hard for men to speak and communicate?
Mm.
Oftentimes, unfortunately, what they found is when they do it, they get punished. They get hurt for sharing, maybe because they didn't say it the right way. They didn't do it at the right time, right? And that's on the ladies' end. It's like when he's in this process, you want him to communicate. You want him to lift you up and speak life into you. Because women, I see women very much as like a flower that needs watered versus most guys, we make the mistake of like seeing women as like a car that needs fixed, right? Like, how do I fix her? What can I do? And when we try to give you our solutions and tell you how to fix your problems without even knowing it, we're losing the safety and security and this piece that I think women really desire and need inside of the relationship of acceptance of who you are.
Yes.
Right. And when you guys lose that, it's the same, it's like the same type of wound, right? You feel like you can't be who you are anymore around him. So you put the mask on.
Oof.
Like he wears his own mask and he can't be vulnerable with you. My recommendation to any of the guys to start learning how to communicate these things and uplift your wife and say the nice things is it's much easier to write it down.
That's good.
Write it down.
That's
Like
good.
put your thoughts down on paper. I leave my wife a little notes next to her bedstand.
So good.
and you see how she reacts to it. You see how it resonates with her, and it changes her day, it changes her mood. And then do that enough times until you have really established, like, these are the things that I think about you. These now I can say them because I've put thoughts down onto
Yeah.
paper and it's not this jarbled mess inside of my head. It's a
Yeah.
really great place to start for the guys.
It's so good. I knew you were gonna drop bombs on this, and I want to just go ahead and say let's do a part two at some point because there's so much more that I want to explore, and I love it. And you are like me, you are giving concrete takeaways. And one of the things that I've learned in speaking to thousands and thousands of men, and they've told me is, I just had a gentleman tell me this at a healthcare conference. He came out, he said, would you start teaching women that when we do open up, to have safe places for us and not slap our hands and not make us feel stupid? And I was like I'm sitting at a table signing books, and I'm just like, what? And so I've been saying that. I've been saying that to women, and also I speak to men all over that say when so I use this analogy. I'll say a twin boy, twin girl. We're in the driveway. They're 2 years old. Twin girl falls and scrapes her knee. What do we do? Oh, baby girl, you gonna be okay? What do we do to the little boy? Get up. Don't cry. So those things, and I'm not mad at anybody's father. I'm not mad at your granddaddy's granddaddy that went to war or had his back to the wall in a cave and went to war and came home and the next day said, pass the peas, right? And I'm not mad at any of them, but I know for a fact that a lot of times men, and you said it in a different way, will be brave enough to stick their head out of the turtle shell to ask for help, and then they get slapped or they get shamed or they don't feel safe and they put their head back in that turtle shell and they don't generally ask for help again. And it's why we see the significant number of men taking their lives, and it pains me greatly. It does. And it's why part of the big reason, Harvey, why I walked away from sportscasting, because I've had a dark night of the soul. I used to say I've lost everything, but I lost my house during the pandemic, and I was very much ashamed of it because my entire speaking schedule got canceled because of the pandemic. I had taken care of my mother the year before through cancer, and I don't regret any of that. But and I almost didn't talk about it. I was ashamed of it. And now I'm free and I talk about it, and it helps other people that have gone through financial shame or in financial shame right now. And yes, I did lose a house, but I gained this ability to relate to so many other people who have walked where I've walked before. And yeah, I just dumped a lot on you, but this is really deep, brother. It's really deep.
It's really good. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think we already talked about it, right? Like that shame, that terrible thing that happened to you. I think one of the most important things people can learn in general, and one of the most difficult things to learn, is how to process loss,
Mhm.
how to grieve. It happens every day. We're experiencing loss, right? You open the fridge and there's no bacon left today. That was a loss. It's not a tough one. You probably get through this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But every day we're experiencing loss, and it's one of the most valuable tools that we can have, because anytime you went through something that you went through, like losing your house, losing your career, your ability to provide for yourself,
Mhm.
that's a loss. And
Mhm.
it's a tough one. And when you're in it, you're in the state of being the victim of, this is something that's happened to me.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. It's how we all experience it. The question is, how fast can we go from, this is something that happened to us, to a place of, our weapon for this is acceptance.
Yeah.
That happened. That happened. And there's no amount of staying in the stages of denial and working harder and staying busy to not think about how that happened, or drinking and smoking or doing whatever it is so that we can't feel the effects of how it feels thinking about that happened, or any amount of bargaining and asking the what ifs, and what if I would have done things differently? What if
Yeah.
I would have changed this? What if I
Yeah.
would have started this sooner? There's no amount of that that's going to change the fact that that happened.
Yep. Yep.
So let's come to acceptance. And once you've gotten there, now you can move again.
Mm.
Now your life can begin again. And once you can move again through that grounding of acceptance, now good things can finally happen again. You're moving your life forward. And then once you receive the reward, because there's a reward on the other side of that obstacle, you got it, you received it. It's a beautiful reward. It is equal or greater than the obstacle you experience. It's
Yeah.
there for everybody, and
Yeah.
you found it. And it's a really important stage of the process because until you find that,
Hmm.
you can't get to a place where you can genuinely, really authentically say, I can now see how that thing that happened was for my benefit. This
Yes.
was for me because if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have learned those lessons and made this shift and get to this place right here, right now, where I am really happy. I love my life and I'm excited about
Yes.
my future again. And if
Yes.
that didn't happen, I wouldn't have this. And then you get to where you're at, where you start finding people that are going through the things that you went through. And now not only is it something that happened for you, but it's happening through you. And now you've
Ooh.
got impact and leadership.
Mm. So I'm gonna give you another moniker. I used to call myself a speaker, Harvey. I'm not a speaker. That's way too shallow. And a friend of mine, a king that I lead, that I call a friend, I believe he gave me the idea, but he said, "You, Rachel, you're a sacred space holder." I'm like, "What?" Yes. Like, and so that's what I go around doing. I create these sacred places and just listening to you right now, I'm like cheering, cheering, cheering because that's what you're doing. Like you are creating these sacred places where men can take off the mask, drop their junk, not only all of that fine community, but grow and be better. I was just visiting with a couple of weeks ago with an NFL team, and I do this whole talk and I bring them to this point, and I said at the end of it, does anybody in here want to take off their mask and share something that they want to be seen? They want to, with the other rookies in here and some different players shared and it was beautiful, and then this player says, I want to share that my brother was incarcerated and he was about to get out and he was so excited about coming to my games, and he said, oh, by the way, he said, everybody sees me smiling around the facility, and he said, here's the story. And he said, he got out and he was taking his kids to school, and he said, my brother was murdered. And he said, so I never used to smile. He said, so my brother always used to tell me to smile. He said, so now I'm smiling for my brother. And you could hear a pin drop in the room, Harvey. And he's letting it go. I mean, it is the most sacred, like I can't even like words don't even describe these moments. And there's been many of them. And he got to the point where he had to leave. And I said to the men in the room, I said, who, and it was an exercise in teaching them. I said, who here is close to him? And a couple of people, and I said, go hold space for him. Go let him know that you are there. And I messaged him afterwards and I said, thank you. You don't know what you did for the other guys in the room that maybe weren't ready just yet to go there. But you modeled it, you taught them. And it's exactly what you're doing, Harvey, and why I'm so passionate about this and so grateful that we have this connection and I have a new friend is, and he said to me, he said, Rachel, he said, no, thank you. He said, I've been carrying that for the longest time. And he said, without you, I don't know when I ever would have let that out. And the reality is, we know now that carrying that stuff affects marriages, it affects your jobs, it affects your everything you do, how you parent, how you show up in the world. And so, just a huge kudos to you because I think you're doing the same kind of work. I know you are. I don't think, I know you are.
It's heavy.
Yeah,
It's yeah,
it's really heavy.
yeah, it's heavy. The burdens, men and women both carry it. Men in particular, especially the type of guys that you see, they've been taught that that crying is weak.
Yeah.
They've been they've been taught that, nothing good will come from them releasing that. And they
Yeah.
suppress that emotion for so long. And you don't realize it, but most of those guys, my friend Rick, he has a saying like anger is how they cry. They
Hmm.
have they suppress it and it just moves over there and it's anger. That's why they play a violent sport. That's how they release it, but they're not actually releasing it. It's just building up and building up and building up. And guys will do one or the other. They'll do one or the other. You have those guys that suppress their sadness and they don't even know how. And every time it begins to get back in, they won't allow themselves to really let that out. But
Hmm.
there's another side of the guys that are more specific to the guys that I work with. These are the guys that suppress their anger,
Hmm.
the guys that aren't allowed to fight back.
Hmm.
They believe that them being upset at the injustices that happen to them or that they experience,
Hmm.
the things that they should be speaking up for, the things that they should be standing up for, they would view that in their belief system as them being an evil person, them being a bad guy.
Hmm.
And both sides of the spectrum here, we call it in our group, the nice guys and the assholes in a way. They both lose.
Yeah.
They both lose really. These guys get better results in the beginning, but they burn their house down in the end. These guys, the nice guys, they never win.
Yeah.
They never win. It's impossible for them to win. It
Wow.
is a 0% success rate because their core belief is that taking care of themselves makes them a bad person.
Mm. Mm. I now consider you a friend and a brother in the fight, a healer, a fellow sacred space holder. What do you just tell people that listen to this? What do you want them to do next? Do you want them to send your community to people? Do you obviously want them to follow you? But what do you want them to do next in their life, male or female, after they watch this?
Yeah, I think everybody that's watching this, I think the most important thing you can do is find people that you can have this type of conversation with, that you can speak openly to, whether it's a men's group, a women's group, a support group.
Mhm.
Find a place where you can, number one, be around people that you aspire to be like, that have the type of life, the type of success in the different areas of life that you desire to have in your own. So you can start learning what they did to get there,
Yeah.
as well as a space where you can actually talk about what's going on in your life.
Mhm.
I think it's the most important thing for the guys. The ladies are much better at this than us. For the guys in particular, find the place. There's so many online communities. It doesn't have to be mine. Maybe I'm not your thing. Maybe I'm not your guy. That's okay. There's so many that are getting created out there nowadays. So find something that resonates with you, join it, connect with the guys, find a space where you can just let some of this stuff out. And the beautiful thing about men is when you get a group of men together and you share a problem with them, every single man's first instinct in there is to help you find a solution.
Mm.
So
Mm.
solutions will be found.
Mm.
So if you're lost and you're looking for the solutions,
Yeah.
find a group of guys that you can work together with.
Do you see now, guys, why why I followed him, why I asked him to do this podcast? Thank you, my friend. We will do this again. This has been amazing, and I'm so grateful to know you now and to know the heart and the soul behind why you do what you do. And I saw it. I saw it. I saw it in your content. Your content is not just manufactured. You genuinely, passionately care, truly and deeply. But thank you today for letting every viewer and listener see your soul. And I'm deeply appreciative. And let's do this again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me over.